Coach, you had a week off from competition last weekend. How did you use this to benefit the team?
Yeah, we had a quick turnaround between our trip from USC Upstate to Las Vegas, and the Las Vegas trip was a longer one for us. We ended up leaving Wednesday morning early. We didn't get back into town until early Monday morning, so I think our kids were pretty exhausted after that long travel, but we had a great trip out in Vegas. We ended up going 4-1. I was just extremely pleased with the way they went out there and competed each game, but for us to have a week off for competition, I think was extremely beneficial for our kids to be able to just recover, and I think physically and mentally they kind of needed that small break. So yeah, I think we're all rested though now and ready and geared up, and we'll be ready to go this week.
This weekend you traveled to Nashville for a tournament at Lipscomb. What do you hope Miami can accomplish this weekend?
Yeah, we just talked about the benefits of taking a week off. However, on the flip side of that, we took a week off from playing. And in our sport, just because we play so much, that can be a tough thing. But I think the most important thing is that our team is able to carry that positive momentum that we were able to create out in Vegas because they played so well, and be able to carry that into this weekend. And, secondly, we're going to go down there with the mindset to win 4 games. However, still understanding and trusting the process, meaning regardless of the outcome, we're going to find ways for each game to make us better, not only collectively as a group, but individually, because ultimately what our goal is right now is to play each game and knowing that each game is just preparing us for conference play.
So on Saturday, Miami's first game is against the host team. What are you expecting out of Lipscomb?
Yes, first and foremost, they're going to be a well-coached team. I have a lot of respect for Coach Ryman and what she's been able to do with that program. And every year, that team is just a good, solid team. So we're expecting a very good game and a tough game against Lipscomb. And looking at their schedule, they've played some pretty good teams. They've played Arkansas, they've played Tulsa, they've played Florida State twice. So I think they're going to be ready to go come game 1. And plus, this is their first weekend being able to play at home. So looking at their pitching staff, they've got 6 pitchers on staff, but really only 2 to 3 are seeing majority of the innings. So we'll definitely put our focus on at least the top 2 pitchers. And I know our coaching staff will put together a good game plan in going up against that staff. Offensively, they're hitting .302 collectively as a group, which is pretty good. And pretty standard for Lipscomb softball. They're going to run. And looking at their stolen bases, they've stolen 27 out of 30 bases, which is really good at this point in time. They've hit 35 doubles. They haven't hit that many home runs, so basically it looks like an offense that's going to find ways to just push the envelope any chance that they get, and they're going to run. But again, that's pretty standard for Lipscomb softball. But yeah, I expect a tough game when it comes to Lipscomb.
Saturday's second game for you is against Appalachian State.
Right.
What does Appalachian State's team look like?
Right. It's similar to the teams that we played in Vegas. I'm not familiar with that program, and I'm not familiar with the coaching staff that's currently there. But it looks like their strength is in their pitching staff. Their ERA right now is at a 2.33, which is really good. They've got 3 pitchers on staff that are all throwing the ball really well. I think it's going to be one of those games where our pitching and our defense is going to have to hold strong to allow our offense to find ways to manufacture runs against a very good pitching staff. So I expect a good game out of Appalachian State.
Your final opponent of the weekend is Eastern Illinois.
Yep.
What does Eastern Illinois bring to the field?
Right. We're pretty familiar with Eastern Illinois just because we've played them in the past, and I'm familiar with Coach Kim Schutte, who, like Coach Ryman, I have a lot of respect for her. I think she always does a really good job with her teams. Looking at their record, they've played a pretty good schedule, and they seem to be struggling a bit right now. But like I always say, when it comes to game day, records just bear no weight with me. So we're going to expect a really good Eastern Illinois team to come out on Sunday. From a preparational standpoint, I've watched the film. I think that our offense is going to match up well to their pitching staff. And the other good thing is that we're going to have an opportunity to watch them on Saturday before we play them on Sunday. But from an offensive standpoint, they've got some kids in the lineup swinging the bat pretty well, but just again watching the film, I think it's a team as well. From a offensive standpoint, I think that our pitching staff will be a good matchup against them. So nonetheless, expecting a good game out of Eastern Illinois.
Now that you've had a couple weekends of competition, what do you think Miami's strengths are so far in the season?
Right. I have to go with the intangibles and the way that our kids are playing and competing. And if you look at our actual numbers, our pitching numbers, our offensive numbers, I don't know if people would be overly enthused about it. But for me, that's a good thing because it means that our team is finding ways to win games. And we talk to our kids about the way they play the game, and we're talking about our 5 practices and 4 of them being playing with energy, being mentally tough, being being gritty and being resilient. And our kids are finding ways to play with all 4 of those, which has been awesome. And I think out in Vegas, we walked away from that weekend thinking, wow, this is where we are. And it's only the second week of season. And I was extremely proud of the way that they were just going out and competing. So I think good teams don't rely only on one thing to win them games, whether that's their offense or their pitching staff, because our team showed out in Vegas that we're going to win any way that we have to win, whether it's we're going to go to 8 innings and outscore the other team, or breathe through a great game out there in Vegas and shutting down a very good offense in UNLV. So it's winning a game 1-0. But again, for us being as young as we are, for it being as early in the season as it is, I've just been extremely happy with the way our kids are going out and competing and playing.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend in Nashville.
Thank you.